Wally Cardona, and I'm a choreographer based in New York City. Here at Arts and Ideas with Phil Klein, composer, really to create this new evening-length work next June. It's interesting to do these things in the beginning stages because the work is being made at the moment. So it's at that stage where we're workshopping a lot of ideas. Yes, you're building material, but you're building material which is also going to be thrown out the windows. Things that will never actually make it to the stage, but play an all-important part in the piece itself. So that being said, one of the basic ideas that I'm working with, one is I call it my people piece. My past works have dealt a lot with objects and people, environments and landscapes that are being created, being shaped and changed by the objects, people moving through these environments, one affecting the other. I've often said that it's like, hopefully on some level, looking at an ant farm where you get to actually see in on a slice of life, a slice of community. But this piece, there are no objects. I'm really turning to people for everything, so that all shaping of the environment, all shaping of life in the theater is happening by people. They're bringing their perception to the moment, and how much they can actually shape the environment itself. I mean, I know that sounds a little bit abstract, or a lot abstract, but everything that I've learned in the past about how spaces can be shaped via activity, and that includes sound activity. I have every confidence, and I know that this can be done just by human beings, that you don't need decor to do it. And that's where Phil comes in. He's very important, Phil Klein, because I think as a composer, what attracted me to him in the beginning was that he, whether or not, well, I know that he's conscious of it, but how he is conscious of it, I'm not sure. But everything that I've experienced that he's made deals with environment, deals with the shaping of a space via the materials that he uses, how he uses those materials, even if it's just human voice, his awareness of how it's coming across in the space. In our past two works together, the placement of sound sources, of musicians, of people, where is it happening, how does it travel, how does it broaden your idea of where you are in the room, in the theater. And so he is also just working with people, he's working with singers, and I'm working with people who definitely identify themselves as dancers, as well as people who I think would identify themselves as, who knows what, students, mothers, fathers, children, brothers, sisters, but all of whom will be coming into this project kind of asking the basic question of what is it to move from a natural state to one of phenomenon, which is, for me, performance. There's a core company of 7 with my group, who are dancers, and then there's approximately 48 people that will be used and culled from locally here in New Haven, and then a youth chorus which should be somewhere between 30 or 40. Although of course we'll do a lot of the groundwork with my company in New York, the local performers play an integral and necessary part in the making of the performance itself. It's necessary that they bring themselves to it, and when I come closer to the performance and we work with those people, the groundwork that is laid as far as getting them to ask the questions that we ask ourselves as performers, to entertain the questions that the piece entertains. That's an important part of it, although we'll do groundwork before then with my company back in New York, and we'll be creating the basic score, or scores, which for me is not that you then learn these choreographed movements, but that myself and the dancers will be handing to these people the framework for what it is that they're doing on stage. So, there might be basic movements, but how they are interpreting them, performing them, putting them together is going to be put into their hands. All of my work right now is in trying to come up with really lively, even though some of them might be subtle, but they're lively scores in the fact that they're nothing really without the person and what that person is bringing to it. So we're going to have an understanding, and I hope there's an understanding of what the concerns are, but how each person deals with those concerns is up to them, and that element is in my opinion, it's all important. This project has two really big goals for me. What I envision a stage where a stage just abundant with life, that really going back to the idea of something that's not necessarily singular, but something that is multiple viewpoints, that through having many people on stage and many people coming and going at different times, so you're getting different viewpoints. What I imagine is just an area and a moment in time really teeming with life, that just as the performers are asked to entertain kind of the question of what is that step into a phenomenological state, I think it's asking the same thing of the audience, and to project themselves as viewers beyond what I would call a natural attitude, beyond where they are when they're out there in the world doing their daily tasks, walking on the street and picking up their kid from school. That's one goal and one vision that I have, and the other one in relationship to it is that the people who are involved in the project, that they have an experience that offers them a perspective on experience itself, and therefore it's usable for them with the rest of their life.